What up guys, welcome back to the Forge. Today we are going to be making sliding door handles.
First, I started by transferring my measurements from my blueprint to my workpiece so I can get as accurate as I can when punching holes in the metal. Then I take a center punch that I made recently and mark my spots so I can find it easily after I get it to forging temperature. After the metal is brought to temperature, I brush it off so that I can find my mark and then start punching a half hole with the through punch. Now that I have my holes punched as deep as I want them, I then cut off the extra bars so that I can begin my taper. Here I begin what I believe is called a reverse taper, where I start somewhere in the inside of the piece, in this case 3 inches in, and start to bring down my piece of metal to about 1/4 inch square. I also started my second piece so that I can utilize the coal more effectively and don't have to wait so much in between heats and just repeating the same process. As you can see, my anvil stand is not fixed to the floor of my forge, so it keeps shifting while I work. Don't worry, I'll move it back to center camera soon. Now I'm starting to bend what is going to be the handle so that it is the shape that I want. It took me a little bit to figure out how I actually wanted it to look, and couldn't really decide how I wanted it until I decided on a twist pattern. It didn't turn out great, but this was my first project like this, and I learned a lot, and my second piece turned out much better. Now I'm continuing with the second piece. At some point I left it in the fire too long and it started to melt through it, meaning that the piece was too thin in my taper and it was likely going to fall off. Here in this clip you can see where I go from a longer piece to a shorter piece, and it did inevitably fall off. All I needed to do was just continue my taper till it was long enough to use for a handle. Doing the handle for the second piece, I decided that I wanted to change it from a twist pattern to what I'm going to call a reverse twist. On one end of the handle I twist it one direction, and at the other end I twist it the opposite direction. I'm sure there's a more accurate name for this technique, and if you know what it is, please comment below and let me know. Finally, I had to fit it to the door. My measurements were based off the holes that were already in the door from my previous handle, but while I was forging, the dimensions changed slightly and not everything was as perfect as I was going for. If and when I make new ones of these in the future, I think I will just drill all my holes instead of trying to punch them at the beginning of the process.
I wanted to say thank you guys. I appreciate you watching. Please hit the subscribe button, share with your friends, put a comment below, let me know what you think. If there's any ideas you might have had that I could have improved on, so on and so forth. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Share the love. Bye.
He's looking right at you. Jeez, Eva!
And he gives no shits. Ah! He bit it! I'll bite your legs off!